A very good morning, students. How are you all? I hope you all are taking a good care of yourself. So, children, let us start today's mathematics class. This is class 10th, subject mathematics, chapter number 13, surface area and volume, lecture number 5. And children, content I am going to cover from your textbook, that is NCERT. So children, in lecture number 5 of chapter number 13, surface area and volume, the topic which I am going to cover today, that is, I will be making you understand HOTS questions 1 to 3 of exercise 13.5, which is known as optional exercise. Correct, students? So children, let us start today's lecture. As I have told you that I am going to make you understand HOTS questions 1 to 3 of exercise 13.5. So let us start question number 1. What is the statement? Please listen the statement of the question carefully. A copper wire 3 millimeters in diameter is wound about a cylinder. So first of all, there is a cylinder made. What is wound around it? That is a copper wire. Correct? Whose length is 12 centimeter, means what is the length of the cylinder given around whose the copper wire is wound, that is 12 centimeter length is given, and the diameter is 10 centimeters. So we can say that the radius is 5 centimeters. So as to cover the curved surface area of the cylinder. Children, copper wire is also cylindrical in shape, and when it is wound around the cylinder, it is going to cover the curved surface part of a cylinder. So you know that this is curved surface part. Fine. So here I am just going to draw a copper wire. Clear? We are just supposed to calculate the length and the mass of the wire. Means when the wire was wound around the cylinder, then what is the total length of the wire used to wound around a cylinder, as well as what is its mass. Assuming the density of the copper to be 8.88 gram per cubic centimeters. Correct, children? So let us start solving this question now. We have been given in the question that the diameter of the wire is 3 millimeters. So diameter of wire is equal to 3 millimeters. Correct? When a wire is going to take one round around this cylinder, then it is going to cover 3 mm of the length of the cylinder. Why? Because the diameter of the wire is 3 mm. Fine. When it is going to take one round around the cylinder, so it means it is going to cover 3 mm part of the curved surface area of the cylinder. Understood? So here we are supposed to write when a wire is one round wound about a cylinder, then it covers a 3 mm of length of the cylinder. Correct? Now, we will be having the total length given. So, let us take how many rounds the wire is going to be take so that the complete surface area, curved surface area of the cylinder is going to be covered. So, what is the length of the cylinder given? Length of cylinder is given to us, that is 12 centimeter. So children, as you know that the wire length is given in millimeters and the length of the cylinder is given in centimeters. So let us convert it into millimeters first. As we know that 1 centimeter is equal to 10 millimeters. So 12 centimeter will definitely be equal to 120 mm, right? So this has been means the length of the cylinder has been converted into millimeters. Correct? Now, what else is given to us? We will be having the diameter given. Diameter of the cylinder. That is 10 centimeters. So, let us calculate the radius of the cylinder. Radius of the cylinder will be 10 by 2, that is diameter divided by 2, must be equal to 5 centimeters. Clear? Now, first of all, what we are supposed to do, when the wire is going to take one complete round around the curved surface area of the cylinder, then we are going to calculate the length of the wire while taking one round. Okay. So let us calculate that. Length of wire required to complete one round. Children, you know that the curved surface area, when I am going to wound a wire around the curved surface area, means it is going to cover the circumference of the base of the cylinder, right? Because that would be nothing but the circular in shape, correct? So what it would be equal to? It must be equal to circumference of the base of cylinder. Correct? And you know that the base of the cylinder is circular in shape. So what is the formula of circumference? That must be equal to 2 pi r. Correct? So 2 pi I am leaving right now as it is, and I am just going to put the value of r. What is that? That is 5 centimeters. So it must be equal to 10 pi centimeters. Children, here I explained you that when a wire is going to take one round in the curved surface area of the cylinder, then definitely it is going to cover 3 mm of the length of the cylinder, right? And what is the total length of the cylinder? That is 120 mm. So using these two values, let us check how many rounds the wire is going to be take so that the complete curved surface area of the cylinder must be covered. So now I am going to calculate number of rounds to cover the complete curved surface area of the cylinder. And what is its length? That is 120 mm. So it must be equal to 120 mm, that is divided by 3. So it would become 40 rounds. 3 mm is the length of the diameter of the wire and 120 mm is the total length of the cylinder. Correct? This is also in mm. So there are total 40 rounds. And children, here I have told you that the length of the wire required to complete one round, when it is going to take the complete one round around the curved surface area of the cylinder, then it is going to be 10 pi centimeter. Means the length of the wire while taking one round is 10 pi. And how many rounds it has taken? 40 rounds. So let us calculate the total length of the wire. Total length of wire in covering the whole surface. The surface of cylinder. How much is the length of the wire when it took one round? That is equal to 10 pi. So it must be equal to 40. What is that 40? 40 is nothing but the number of rounds which are taken by the wire to cover the complete curved surface area of the cylinder. So it must be 10 pi into 40. That is equal to 400 pi. So let us insert the value of pi. It is 400 into 3.14. When I multiplied them after removing decimals, I have got 1256 centimeters. This is what? This is the length of the wire which is used to cover the curved surface area of the cylinder. Understood, children? First of all, after taking out the number of rounds, how many rounds the wire is going to be take, I have calculated the length of the wire which is there to just cover one round. So when I multiplied both of them, I have just calculated the total length of the wire. Okay, that is 1256 centimeters. Now one more thing also it is demanded in the question, that is what is the mass of the wire assuming the density of the copper to be 8.8 gram per cubic centimeter. So children, you know that mass of the wire must be equal to volume into density. So let us calculate the volume first of all. We will be having radius of the copper wire given, that is equal to 3 by 2 millimeters. Why? Because 3 millimeter is the diameter. It must be divided by 2 as the density is given in cubic centimeters. So let us convert this 3 by 2 mm in centimeters first. We know that 1 millimeter is equal to 1 by 10 centimeters. So definitely 3 by 2 millimeter must be equal to 3 by 20 millimeters. Sorry, centimeters. Here you are going to write 3 by 2 millimeters. It would become 3 by 2 into 1 by 10 centimeters, that is 3 by 20 centimeters. This is the radius of the copper wire. Correct? Now we want its volume. Volume of the wire. Children, wire is also in cylindrical in shape. So that is pi r square h. I must write pi r square h. So pi I am going to write as it is. What is r square? That is 3 by 20 whole square. And what is the height? Or you can say that the length of the wire which is used to cover curved surface area of the cylinder, that is equal to 400 pi. Correct? That we have just calculated. Now let us solve it. It would become pi into 9 upon 400 into 400 pi. Now 400 and 400 are going to be cancelled. So I have got 9 pi square cubic centimeters. Correct? Because volume is measured in cubic units. Now, as you know the volume, you know the density. So let us calculate the mass of the wire. Mass of the copper wire is equal to volume into density. What is volume? We have just calculated. That is 9 pi square. At place of pi, can I insert 3.14? Its whole square into. What is density? It is given to us in the question, that is 8.88 gram. 8.88 gram cubic centimeters. Correct? So let us solve it. After finding its whole square and multiplying it by 9, I have got 88.74. When it is going to be multiplied by 8.88, so I am going to get 788 gram approximately. So this is the mass of the copper wire. Understood? So children, let us start now next HOTS, that is HOTS number 2. So children, listen the statement very carefully. What does HOTS number 2 state? A right triangle whose sides are 3 centimeter and 4 centimeter other than hypotenuse is made to revolve around its hypotenuse. So let us draw a right angled triangle first of all. This is a right angled triangle I am going to draw. What is said in the question? That it has two sides given other than hypotenuse. One is 3 centimeter and another is 4 centimeter. Correct? So I am writing as perpendicular as 3 centimeter and this is 4 centimeter, base as 4 centimeter. And here I am showing 90 degree. Correct? So let us give the name. That is A, B and C. So we have been asked in the question that when a right angled triangle whose sides are 3 centimeter and 4 centimeter given other than hypotenuse is going to be made revolve around its hypotenuse, then we are supposed to calculate the volume and the surface area of the double cone formed. So let us understand it through this right angled triangle which I have drawn. Just have a look, children. You can see that this is nothing but the replica of the same which I have drawn on the piece of paper. When I am going to revolve it around or about its hypotenuse, then there will be two cones formed. Just have a look. I am going to revolve it around its hypotenuse. Hypotenuse will remain stable. So just revolve it. While revolving, children, you may have noticed that a kind of cone is going to be formed like this around it. Yes or no? Means the base of the cone is going to be formed. Look, isn't it making a complete round? Again, see, from here I started revolving it. So a complete circle or the base of the cone is going to be formed while revolving it. Right? So around its hypotenuse, this complete round is going to be formed. So let us draw that round now. It would be formed like this. Correct? Here you can just brought it a little bit forward. So now I am just going to join them. Here, children, you can see that this is nothing but the base of the cone and there are two cones formed. Correct? So children, did you observe one thing, that when I was going to revolve this right angled triangle around its hypotenuse, then whatever is the perpendicular over here, where has it gone? You can just see this. It has reached here now. Okay. And whatever is the base, that has become a kind of perpendicular over here, right? So whatever is written here, that is 4 centimeter, must be written over here, and this 3 centimeter must be written over here. Correct? Here I can give the name as point D. So children, you can see that ABD, this part means this, if I am going to darken it, this part has become one cone, and another is BCD, this region has become another cone. Correct? So there are two cones formed and we are supposed to calculate the volume as well as surface area of these double cones formed. So first of all, apply Pythagoras theorem so that we can just calculate the length of the hypotenuse. Applying Pythagoras theorem. In which triangle? In triangle ABC. When I applied Pythagoras, so you can see that AC square is equal to AB square. AC square is equal to AB square plus BC square. That is 9 centimeter square plus 16 centimeter square, which is equal to 25 centimeter square. So AC is 5 centimeter, which is the hypotenuse. Correct? So let us put it in the figure. Now children, as you know that when a right angled triangle was revolved around its hypotenuse, that there were two cones formed, right? Here you can take ABD as one cone and another CBD as another cone. Okay. So children, as we are asked in the question to calculate the volume. So for volume of the cone, we know the formula, that is 1/3 pi r square h, right? As well as we are asked to calculate the surface area also, means we want pi r l. In both the formula we require radius, which is not in our hand. So let it be r, let it be r. These are basically those two cones which are having the same radius. Okay, fine. But definitely there can be two different heights also. Understood? So radius is same. So let us calculate the value of r first of all. Children, these both are right circular cylinders. So here also definitely 90-degree angle be formed. Okay. So what I am going to do, I am going to calculate the area of this triangle ABC. How? First of all, I am just going to calculate it while applying half base into height. Base is BC and height is AB. Then in case 2, I am going to consider AC as the base and let it be point O, BO as the height. Okay. so that I will be able to calculate the value of r, which is radius, which is very much required. So let us start it. Now in triangle ABC, what I am going to do? I am going to apply half into base into height. That must be equal to half into radius. This is radius. Correct? This is height. And what is base now? That is AC into AC. Correct? How did I calculate this area? While taking AC as the base. Taking AC as base. Now, let us insert the values. I have got half and half are going to be cancelled. At place of base, I am going to write 4 centimeter into height is 3 centimeter. Correct? And here you will be knowing that radius is given to us. What is that radius? That is enacting like the hypotenuse. That is enacting like the height. Enacting like the height, and AC is enacting like the base. So that would become R into AC, we know that is equal to 5 centimeters. Correct? It would become 4 into 3 centimeter into centimeter will become centimeter squares. So radius must be equal to 1 centimeter is also going to be cancelled. That is 12 by 5 centimeter. So it implies to radius is equal to 2.4 centimeters. Okay. Children, there are two cones formed having the same radius. Now we are going to calculate volume of these double cones formed as well as their surface area also. So first of all, volume of double cones formed. What is the formula? That is 1 by 3 pi r square h, pi r square h1 plus 1 by 3 pi r square h2. I told you children that radius is same but height can be different. So what I can do in the diagram, I am going to take the height of first cone as h1 and the height of another cone as h2. Okay. So here is the formula in front of you to calculate its volume. So let us take 1 by 3 pi r square as common. Inside the bracket it would left h1 plus h2. Children, just look at in the diagram. What is h1 plus h2? That is nothing but the hypotenuse, that is AC, which we have calculated, that is 5 centimeters. So now insert the value of everything, that is 1 by 3 into, at place of pi I am writing 22 by 7 into, at place of r I know that is 2.4 into 2.4, and that h1 plus h2 I have already told you that is 5. It must be equal to cubic centimeters. Correct? So let us solve it. While removing decimals, you will be getting, this is 5 ones are 5, 5 twos are, this is 1s are, this is 11s are, 3 ones are, 3 8s are. Correct? Anything else which is going to be cancelled? No. So it would become 88 upon 70 cubic centimeters. Beta, here this is 24 is also left. So into 24. This is also left. So we can further cancel it. 24 into 88 upon 70. Again cancel by the table of 2. It would become 35. This is 44. Correct? So while multiplying 24 by 44, I have got 1056 over 35. While dividing them, you will be getting 30, that is 30.17 cubic centimeters. Correct? Now children, let us start calculating surface area of double or two cones formed. Formula you know, that is pi r L1 plus pi r L2. Children, for this upper cone, you can see that 3 centimeter is the slant height, and from this lower cone 4 centimeter is the slant height. So we can take pi r as common. L1 plus L2 will left inside the bracket. At place of pi I am writing 22 by 7 into radius, you know, that is 2.4 into L1 plus L2, that is 3 centimeter plus 4 centimeter. So we will be having 22 by 7 into, while removing decimal, 24 by 10 into 7. 7 and 7 are going to be cancelled. When I multiply 24 by 22, I have got 528 divided by 10 square centimeter. So the answer is 52.8 square centimeter. Clear, students? So how did we calculate the volume and the surface area of the double cones formed while revolving a right angled triangle around its hypotenuse? That you have observed now, children. This will be the slant height. The height can be varied of both the cones formed, but the radius would be same because their circular base is same. Okay, fine. So here the slant height is 4 centimeter for the lower cone, you can see, and for the upper cone it is 3 centimeter. Okay, just insert and substitute the values over here in the given formula and get the result. Okay, children, now let us switch to the next question. Horse question, that is solution number 3. Please listen the question carefully. A cistern internally measuring 150 centimeters into 120 centimeter into 110 centimeters. So means these are the length, breadth and the height of the cistern given, children. Cistern is always cuboidal in shape. So let us draw a cistern first of all. Here you can see that I am just going to draw a cuboid, which is actually a cistern. Correct? We will be given in the question that 150 centimeter is the length, 120 centimeter is the breadth and 110 centimeter is the height of the cistern given, which has, this cistern has 1,29,600 cubic centimeter of the water in it. Porous bricks. Porous bricks are those bricks which absorb the water or any liquid very frequently. Porous bricks are placed in the water until the cistern is full up to the brim. So let us draw few bricks that will also be a kind of cuboidal in shape. Okay, they are placed on one another in such a way that they are just going to absorb the water of the cistern, and definitely up to that much level that the water will be reaching up to the brim, means up to the top level of the cistern. Correct? Each brick absorbs 1/17 of its own volume of the water. It is said in the question that each and every brick is going to absorb 1/17 of its own volume of the water. How many bricks can be put in without overflowing the water? That water should not be overflown. How many bricks should be put in it? Each brick being 22.5 centimeter, means that is the length of the brick. 7.5 centimeter is the breadth and 6.5 centimeter is the height of the each brick. Okay. So basically in this question we are just going to calculate the number of the bricks which are going to be placed in the cistern so that the water should not be overflown. Children, suppose if I ask you to calculate the volume of the cistern, then what you are going to include in that? Definitely you will be including the volume of n number of bricks which are placed inside the cistern, and as they are going to absorb the water, and the total water was 1,29,600 cubic centimeters, and when the water was absorbed by porous bricks, then some water was still left, right? So when I am going to add both of these things, means the volume of n number of bricks plus left water, that would nothing but the volume of the cistern only, right? So let us calculate it. Now volume of cistern. must be equal to n into volume of one brick plus water left. So let it consider as equation number 1. Now let us calculate what do you mean by water left. Total water which we had been given in the question minus water absorbed by n number of bricks, because there was, when this will be subtracted from the total water, then and only then we can come to know that how much water is left. Water absorbed by n number of bricks. Either you can write this or you can just do that water absorbed by one brick into n, that is one and the same thing. So let us calculate water left. What is total water? 1,29,600 cubic centimeters minus. Children, it is given in the question that each brick has absorbed 1/17 of its own volume. So length, breadth and height of each brick is given to us. Okay. 1/17 of its own volume. Then how many bricks are there? That is n. And what will be the volume of one brick? That is 22.5 centimeter into 7.5 into 6.5 cubic centimeters. These are the dimensions of one brick. This is length, this is breadth, this is height. Brick is also cuboidal in shape, so we have calculated the volume of one brick. Okay, as it is said in the question that water absorbed by n number of bricks, and each brick is going to be absorbed 1/17 of its own volume. This is 1/17 of the volume of the brick, and I am going to multiply it by n. Why? Because there are n number of bricks which are going to be absorb the water of the system. Correct? Now let it consider as equation number 2. I am going to substitute this value of equation number 2 in equation number 1. Put the value of equation 2 in equation 1. So let us talk about the volume of cistern also. As we know that the length, breadth and height are given. So it must be equal to 150 centimeter into 120 centimeter into 110. Or in overall I can say that their product along with cubic centimeters is equal to. Now this is n into volume of one brick. N into volume of one brick will be 22.5 into 7.5 into 6.5. Correct? Plus in water left I am going to write this complete expression. That is 1,29,600 cubic centimeters minus 1/17 of n into 22.5 into 7.5 and into 6.5 cubic centimeters. Correct? This is whole is in cubic centimeters. Children, when I multiplied all these three numbers, 150 by 120, then the given result by 110. So I have got 19,80,000. Correct? So this value, that is 1,29,600, I am going to take on left hand side. It would be minus. Now we are left with n into 22.5 into 7.5 into 6.5, and here minus 1/17 into n into the volume of one brick. Correct? So what I am going to take, you can see children, in these two terms, this term and this term, what is common? Let us take it as a common. I am going to take n 22.5 into 7.5 into 6.5 as common. So what is left inside it? Here with n the numerical coefficient is 1, and here with this complete expression numerical coefficient is 1/17. Correct? So let us take 17 as LCM. It would be 17 minus 1, that is 16 by 17. Here when I subtracted 1,29,600 from 19,80,000, so I have got 18,50,400 is equal to n into 22.5 into 7.5 into 6.5 into 16 by 17. Correct? Children, as you know that I am supposed to calculate the value of n. What is that? That is number of bricks. So each and every term which is written along with n, I must have to take on left hand side. So let us put it on that side. This is n is equal to 18,50,400 into. These all are multiplying, so they all must be divided. Children, here I am going to remove decimal as well. Okay. So I will be having 1000 on the numerator place. This is 16 by 17. It must come on that side. So it will become 17 by 16. So now let us solve it by the table of 25. 25 4s are 100. This is 0. 25 9s are 225. Okay. Now again by the table of 5. This is 5 1s are 5. 5 5s are 15. 5 5s are 25. Okay. Here 5 8s are 40. 8 1s are 8 2s are 16. Correct. Now let us solve them by the table of, cancel them by the table of 3. This is 3 6 are 18. 3 1s are 3. 20 is left. 3 6 are 18 again. Then 2 is left. 8 is are 24. Then double zeros. Okay. Now further cancel. 3 1s are 3. This is 3 2s are 6. Okay. Then 0. Then 5s are 15. 6 are 18 and then double zero. Now cancel by the table of 5. This is 5 3s are. This is 5 4s are 20. 1s are 5. Again 1s are. 2s are and 0. Correct? Now cancel it by the table of 2. This is 2 2s are 4. 0. Then 5s are 10. 6 are and then 0. Now again by the table of 5. 5 1s are 5. This is 3s are 13. This would become 5 4s are 20. 5 1s are 5. Again 5 1s are 5 and then 5 2s are 10. So children, we are left with n is equal to 4112 into 17 by 39. Okay. Children, after solving it, I have got 1792.41 bricks. So as you know that bricks will be there in round figure only. Number of bricks will be in round figure. So n is equal to 1792 bricks. Correct? So I hope children, whatever I have taught you today, you may have understood. Correct? So now this is the time to get mathematics homework. Children, your maths homework is do HOTS questions 1 to 4 of exercise 13.5 optional of chapter number 13 in mathematics homework notebook. I have covered the toughest HOTS 1 to 3. Fourth question is very simple. Okay. So that I hope you will be able to do it yourself. But suppose if you face difficulty, then you can discuss that question also with me. So this is your mathematics homework. Do these 4 questions in your maths homework notebook. So that's it for the day. Thank you and have a nice day.